Assalamu alaikum and good morning to all. We meet again. Today we're going to talk about JavaScript, and today will be the last part of JavaScript. I will give you the last lecture for JavaScript. On the next class, we will look into different topic. Okay, so for JavaScript lesson today, I'm going to talk about event handler. Okay, what is event handler? And then part of event handler in JavaScript is system events, mouse event, data entry events. So these are the things that you should understand in event handler. And then I would like to let you know about what is event handler. So event handler is something that you will use for JavaScript programming to trigger something, to trigger coding. Okay, so if you're looking into the lecture notes, event are action that take place in a document, such as clicking or button or selecting a text. So it means that event in JavaScript perspective is about triggering. In here we might say clicking on a buttons or selecting text. In this case, clicking and selecting is a kind of action that require for a user. Then it will give some events or trigger something. So event handler are JavaScript related HTML attributes that modify the behavior of the documents. Okay, there are three event handler that we're going to focus on. The first one is system event, second one is mouse event, and the last one is data entry event. For system events, you are going to learn two things. It's on load, and the second one is on unload. On load means that during the web page loading, they will trigger something. On unload means that when you did not loading the page or you exit the page, and it will give something or trigger something. So looking number one, system event. See, this is a one, two things is on load and on unload. So the lesson for the system event, if you look here, it's been decoded. The code of the onload is on lesson 9A 1 HTML and lesson 9A 2 HTML. So where I'm going to show you what it's all about. Okay, look, this is the lecture note that we give to you and coded with source code given together. So if you look into 9A is onload. If you run this code, you will see something like this. Okay, onload live server. Okay, you see that the page is loaded. So where they came from is based on alert box. And this is onload, you will trigger the my function. If you're looking into this code, onload and trigger the my function. So what is my function? The my function is alert box. That's why page is loaded like this. Okay, so that's number one. And number two, unload. This is a kind of onload style, not unload. Okay, onload means that when you loading this page, load image. What is load image? Go to the function load image, and then image is loaded. Right. So in this case, the image that been loaded, if you're looking into this part, is UTM logo JPEG. So when you go in here, live server, you see that image is loaded and they give you some trigger UTM website with a specific width. Okay, if you change this to 100, what you're looking is something different. That the image is changing. Okay, so that's the way how onload give the directions. Okay, so that's a lesson for system event. But if you're looking into on unload, is different than onload. Okay, onload is only I give you two examples, but for on unload, activate when the user exits a HTML page. Okay, So that one is system events. Now we go to mouse events. Okay, for mouse event, we have here on click, most popular one, right? On mouse over, another very popular one. And another one is mouse out, less popular compared with the others. But actually, if you're looking into on click, activate when the user click an object, right? When you click, what will happen? All right, so that you can program them. On mouse over, when you mouse over the button, that will trigger something. On mouse out means that when you move out from the mouse, they will trigger something. Okay, so if you're looking into what lesson it is, so let me see 9B. 9B in VS Code. Okay, 9B here. All right, this is a kind of mouse event click. If you're looking into mouse event click, right? So we have example here, function say hello, hello world. So when you click the button, where is, okay, this one, on click, you see that, on click, it give you say hello, right? How to view this? Just go to the live server here, and on click, when you click here, they will say hello world mate, because of you are using this function. So when you change this, you can also change something else. Hello Farhan, so your class representation. Okay, and then when we trigger, look again, they will give you hello world Farhan, something like that. Okay, so that's quite simple to understand. Then we move to different one. Mouse event is there, and then on click, on mouse over, on mouse out is almost similar style. Okay, so this is an example of on click. Again, I mentioned about on click is here, and then when you click the button, they will give you say hello. Where is say hello? Go to the function of say hello. All right. All right. So on mouse over and mouse out is almost the same. In this case, we are using function big image, normal image like this. Okay. So let me see how the code is in action. 9C. Okay. 9C. This is quite simple programming. Okay, for everyone to understand. So you see here, image on mouse over, they will give you different image. On mouse out, they will give you different image, which is normal image. This border, you have this, right? And then alternately, if they cannot find this image, you go to the smiley text, okay? And then with the width and height, right? If you're looking into what is big IMG, big image is something like here. The function of big image IMG, they will move based on 100px and with 150px. But for normal, they will go for 32 and 32. Okay, so let's see how this in action. On mouse over, on mouse out. Okay, on live server, you go and see that mouse over, mouse out, mouse over, mouse out. Okay, I think it's quite clear for you to understand. All right. Now we move to different coding. Mouse over, mouse out there. Data entry. Okay. Data entry have a lot. Okay. Compare with mouse events, only have on click, on mouse over, and mouse out. But you can combine them. Okay. You can combine system event handler. You can combine mouse event handler, and even you can combine with data entry event handler. So there will be a very powerful application if you make use of this event handler, and it's very nice. Okay, so the first data entry event is on focus. Right? What is on focus? Occur when an object is selected. So it means that when you select the image, it will trigger. On blur means that when an object is no longer in focus. Apply on text means that you are not focused on that object anymore, and it will give you something different. Okay, and then in data entry event, we have also on change, on select, on submit, on reset. That's all. There's a lot of code you can try. Okay, and then let me see the first one on what is this? On focus. Okay, what is on focus? You see 9D1 HTML. Okay. when you go to the 90 one HTML, this is on focus. See that on focus, and then when you trigger the on focus, when you put on focus, you will trigger the function of my function. What is my function? They will change the background to yellow. Okay, see this x style.background change to yellow. This is something built-in function for background of the object. Okay, in here input types, so it will change only input types, right? Let's say you give this input type seem to be text box. Okay, look, live on server, you see, right? Enter your name. Where is enter your name? Input types, text box. This is a text box. Okay, when you enter, see that it changed to yellow. It means that you already on focus. But if you didn't do nothing, it will not give anything. But when you click there, it will change. Okay, that's on focus. Okay then, so looking into on focus, not very difficult to understand. All of this is event handler is a very beautiful object for every programmer to make use of, and it's become very powerful one. Okay, on blur is something related with, okay, something related with, okay, let we see straight away 92A to HTML. What is on blur? Okay, this is on blur, you see. On blur and trigger my function. What is on blur? Okay, in order to make you become very good in getting information, on blur, if you type in Google on blur, what is on blur? You see this on blur versus on change, on blur, on focus. That's a lot. Okay, so when you go to on blur JavaScript, okay, JavaScript, they will directly you to W3 School. This is something beautiful. Okay, on blur means execute JavaScript when the user leave, means that leave out an input type. So when you have this information, it's very easy for you to get it. So if you're looking into JavaScript, you just type on anything on focus, for example. Click there and you get on focus event. So that's a lot. Okay, let's see what it's all about. Okay, look. Okay, we have on focus events. So what is category is a DOM events. Okay, it's part of DOM event. Let's see what is DOM event. You see there's a lot of DOM event here. Blur, abort, the things that I already let you know in our last lecture, on our previous lecture, on mouse over, on mouse leave, and so on. Okay, that's a lot. Too many things to cover. But again, my tips, in order to answer your final exam, you have to conquer your lecture notes. What is subtopic and topic in lecture notes? Try to map with W3 School, and you can make your life easier, especially in answering your final exam questions. Right. So if you're looking into on blur, this is on blur. Next, we go to on change. Similarly, so it gives you, okay, this is example of the code. Let's see 93. Okay, 93. Okay, this is on change. Right, this is on change, something related with, right, when you do the changing, it will give you something else. Okay, you select BMW, something like this. Volvo, you select Volvo. How the code has been done? Okay, look, select ID, my select on change, okay, and then trigger the functions. Okay, this is something that related with this part. Okay, this part. Option normally refer to selection box selection. Okay, this is the option value, Audi, Volvo, things like that. And then when you select a car, it will trigger the ID name. Okay, on change means that when you change, they will trigger you something, my function. This is my function. Again, they are using DOM, document get element by ID, inner HTML. Demo, what is demo? ID demo, and refer to this part. ID, this is ID, and this also what we call get element by ID, and what is the value. right? It's quite straightforward. But you can see the output here. When you select Mercedes-Benz, it will trigger you select Mercedes-Benz. That came from here. You select Mercedes-Benz. The X is the value. All right, so that's number one part. I'll go for a different one. Okay, start first.